Put a little bit of the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Let's get to the sports talk.
Because we will have Florida State firing up here in right around 10 minutes or so right here on the SEC Network. This just happened in a wild iron, but we've been trying to keep you posted and updated as best we can. Joseph Bulovas from 30. It's a chip shot to tie the game at 2 minutes left to go. Doink.
Sorry, for as many years as Alabama's been good, we've been talking about them having issues with their place kicker. It's going to probably come back to cost them again here in this situation. I don't understand, Chiz, why they can't find a reliable kicker there.
Yeah, it just seems like every week we're talking about it.
They good in every other places, but kicking, it's been an issue for years, and they still trying to figure it out, and it cost them a game today. They had a chance to tie the game up, but they had problems at the kicking position, and it came back and bite them.
And again, you would think that they put himself in a position, they centered the ball up. It wasn't like it was kicked from a hash, and you're thinking chip shot to at least tie the game, get it to overtime. It's hard to think you work so hard. This is a tough place to win, tough place to play. This has been a physical, brutal battle. You battle back, put yourself in a position, and then that happens. It's got to be frustrating to Alabama fans.
The rest of us already have resentment for kickers when we're in the midst of practicing all day long. Those guys
and they're over there doing nothing. Yeah, right.
And they lose the ball game for you, too. Doesn't help.
No, and now you're faced with the reality is Alabama's no timeouts. Auburn's in a position, I believe, essentially to just run this thing out. We will see. I'm not sure.
They were ready to punt,
down.
And they had an illegal substitution call.
You're kidding. An automatic first down. So that's going to do it. What that means now is Alabama is out of the college football playoff picture. They won't play again until whatever bowl game they're...
They still going to be able to play in a good bowl game. You can't have any hiccups, and this is what could happen. Now they lost 2 games, and then it cost them a playoff spot. It was already going to be tough for them to get in anyway because they're not playing the conference championship game. They had to wait for somebody to lose in front of them. But now this loss right here take them out the picture. So they're going to play in the New Year's Eve Bowl. Like, this is going to be the first time they missed the playoffs in years since they brought it into exist. Now it's just a different ball game for everyone. And now it's going to be up to anybody that's in front of them to get an opportunity to keep that playoff spot.
It's just odd that that's the case now, but that's the rather sudden reality is Bama's out of the mix for the playoff and quite possibly the Sugar Bowl, although they will certainly be in that conversation as the highest-ranked SEC team that's not in the playoff. That's where we sit. That seems to have hit us all of us.
They still will be able to play in that Sugar Bowl because of their resume, because who they are. They gonna get a spot in one of them good bowls.
Depending on what happens next week with Georgia and LSU.
Right.
But, quite the disappointing finish if you're an Alabama fan.
Yeah. All right, from Auburn's perspective here. I mean, what does this do in a season where you've had a ridiculously difficult schedule? You needed one of these to go your way, and now it appears one will.
Yeah, for them to be able to win one of the last 2, when you have Georgia at home, when you have Alabama at home, it's imperative that you win one of the 2 for a lot of reasons. But obviously, if you're going to win one of the 2, this is the one for Auburn fans that you want to win. This Iron Bowl means everything to the people in the state. It means everything in recruiting. It's where Gus can now say, hey, look.
It happened again in Auburn. Auburn took them out of the national championship game back then, and now they took them out of the playoff now. Alabama let Auburn hang around, and Auburn took a full advantage of it. Auburn wasn't no slouch of a team. They was good a team. Even though 83 don't show it, but they was a good team. It wasn't about to be no walkover coming into this game. They had to come prepared and be ready to play them. Because Auburn's still a good team. At the end of the day, they still a ranked team. And if Alabama would have beat them, they could have helped their kids to get in the playoff. But Auburn ain't allowed that.
We can stand toe-to-toe with these guys. If you look over the test of time, what coach has beaten Nick Saban more? There isn't one out there right now that's presently coaching in college football. And 2017 it happened. It turned around again this week or this year, and it's going to get interesting as this thing continues.
I thought it was an interesting.
The only coach that beat him twice and knocked him out of something that's important to Alabama. It was the national championship at first. Now it's the playoffs. He did it less than like 2 or 3 years. They done knocked him out of something. And now it's going to be a different type of atmosphere now because Alabama is not mentioned in the playoffs no more. So it's up to anyone to get the last 4th spot, 3rd spot. It's up to them to keep that spot because now they don't have to worry about Alabama being on their shoulders because Alabama lost 2 games.
Matchup that Auburn had a chance to win going into it, but you never could have convinced me they would have done it by scoring 48 points as they've done today. And really the fact that Tua wasn't in the ballgame played very little part in the way the game played out. There were 2 pick sixes that obviously helped Auburn's cause.
Can I bring up something real quick? There was a very controversial field goal that Auburn had to end the first half.
Yep.
Final margin of victory, 3 points. Something we're also going to get into. We're going to bring.
That's why they say all points count. That missed field goal right there put them in the deep hole. Because at the end of the game, look what it had to come down to. You kicking a field goal to be able to tie the game. And he would have made that, Alabama would potentially probably be in overtime or won that game. The kicking game hurt him at the end of the game.
At Austin in the final SEC now of the night. But I thought that was interesting too because does that play into the result of this? And as it turns out, that's the final margin.
And it appears,
I interrupted you and I'm sorry.
No,
I didn't mean to, but I'm still sorry for it.
But it appears that the officiating was correct on that, right?
Right.
But it's just kind of one of those, unfortunate rules because they stopped the clock to review it.
With
1 second left. So the rule says wind the clock. That's what they call whistle field goals, right? You get your guys down and you literally tell your center on the snap, when you hear the whistle, snap it.
Yeah.
Auburn executed it, so you got to give them a lot of credit.
All right, sorry. You go ahead and finish your thought.
I have no idea what I was saying.
Okay.
It didn't matter to me.
We'll dive into that game so deep later in the night on SEC Now. All right, here's what else has happened. Georgia Tech. Georgia, of course, has won 9 straight road games in the rivalry against Georgia Tech, who's in their first year under Jeff Collins. No more triple option, more traditional offense. Did not look that good in this particular game. Guys, Jake Fromm started 0 for 4. We talk all the time, at least the last month or so, about how he's not.
He haven't performed like that. He started out sluggish in this game. He gonna have to pick it up in that conference game because if you lose, you might lose that spot in the playoffs. He can't start out this way next week. That's a big game next week. He could get away with it with Georgia Tech, but you can't get away with it against LSU. Different competition. They on your level. You can't start out the game 0 for 6, 0 for 8. You had to come out and hit your throws.
The same efficient passer we're used to. What'd you see early on?
We saw a lot of inconsistencies on offense, throwing the football, something we have seen a lot over the last month.
Yeah, it's accuracy, CD. It's accurate. You want to take that ball, put it in positions where the receiver can run himself open, right? Where he can get open and he doesn't have to break stride on the catch. That happened a lot earlier today where he was not accurate, but you can see here today, he hit Warner on that touchdown. He became more accurate and more efficient as the game went on.
He did end up with 4 passing touchdowns, ties a career high, and passed David Green for the second most passing touchdowns in UGA history behind only Aaron Murray, who may never get caught. 121 for him, and then DeAndre Swift takes the snap and gets taken down. Ended up leaving the game with an injury.
Yeah, Georgia's offense turned the ball over 3 times.
It's bad enough that your quarterback haven't been playing consistently, and he been up and down. Now you lose your star running back in Swift. That's a big hole for them because they got a big game next week to keep their player hopes alive. Now they missing a key piece of their offense. Swift will get hurt in this game. It's going to be hurtful for them because that he need him to take the pressure off of from, because to keep him from making mistakes throwing the ball, you could just hand the football to Swift and he take the pressure off of him. Now he ain't gonna have him in the backfield. They running game is gonna have a big hole in it.
Times in the first 2.5 quarters, that one there costly, not only because of the red zone fumble, but because DeAndre Swift leaves with a shoulder contusion.
Yeah, as we know more, it does not appear to be a serious issue, but we will certainly update if more comes out. Jake Fromm then, Dominic Blaylock.
Big touchdown here, but Chiz, on the other side, what is George Pickens involved with?
Yeah, this is a great example, CD, of a young guy. He's selfish, he's young, he doesn't understand.
He young, man. He gonna make the mistakes. He gonna miss the first half. This ain't having Jake for him. He already got a running back that's hurt. They gotta wait to see how he gonna be next week. Now Pickett gonna miss the first half, and that's not helping Jake out. He need his playmaker out there, but you made this mistake right here by fighting with someone when you got something bigger in front of you. That's what you need to be focused on. It just, he young man it, so he gonna make the mistakes.
This is a team violation. This hurts your football team. And let's not forget, next week you'll be suspended for the first half.
First half, felt like I was watching Last Chance U there, watching that thing just happen. All right, how about Kentucky and Louisville? Louisville's owned the rivalry of late over the course of the last 7 or 8 seasons. They've won all but 2, but look at Kentucky and Lynn Bowden in his 7th game as a starting quarterback, trying to get him to 5-2, and he made a million plays like this.
I don't know if you knew this or not, but with Lynn Bowden at quarterback, Kentucky's going to try to run the football.
Really?
Yeah.
Meaning like this?
Like this. They ran for 516 yards on
Because 2 quarterbacks is out. So a committed wide receiver had to turn into a quarterback. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to run the football. Because he's not a quarterback. He's their wide receiver that's playing quarterback because their 2 quarterback got hurt. So they had to go with him. So they're going to run the football. I don't see how team's not prepared for that because they going to treat it like Navy and just run with him.
Lynn Bowden, another outstanding performance. Just so impressed with what Eddie Grant and his coaching staff has done to put these guys in a position to win big games.
City, I'm going to take your 516 and make it 517. He individually ran for 284, which is the most by any quarterback in a game in the history of the Southeastern Conference.
Amazing. Amazing what they did on offense.
5-2 as a starting quarterback. Clemson and South Carolina, 4th and goal. You want a Gamecock highlight? You're welcome.
That would be it.
That's all you get.
That's pretty much it. Did not go well for South Carolina. Clemson didn't get into the end zone there. South Carolina didn't get in there all day. Meanwhile, Trevor Lawrence fires 26 of 36, 3 touchdown passes, 290.
Like, Clemson had to have this game. They come forward no hiccups this season. Like, they already had up and down season. They needed to win this game. They know they come forward to lose this one right here.
5 yards through the air. Travis Etienne on the ground, just 51 yards, couple of touchdowns for him. Clemson rolls, though. 38-3, they've won 6 in a row against South Carolina, who finishes 4-8. Let's go to Baton Rouge. Joe Burrow, team up 7-zip. 12 yards. Justin Jefferson all alone, 14-zip. Once the extra point is kicked.
Yeah, that's not good when the receiver's standing in the end zone, CD, and there's nobody within 8 yards around him. I would say that would be busted coverage, right?
Yeah, focus start by that offense, though, and LSU has done that quite a bit this season coming out of the locker room.
No question. At last check, by the way, Kellen Mond did not have a completion, and he still doesn't. He's 0 for 2. All right, Florida State, go. What are we watching for early?
Well, I want to see Florida get off to a
Good thing LSU ain't looking past Texas A&M and looking forward of next week. Take care of your business right here in front of you. Treat them like that's an undefeated team and get prepared for Georgia.
fast start. This is an FSU team since the firing of their coach Willie Taggart that's playing with a little bit more confidence, and we know that they have a lot of guys on that roster that were actually recruited by Florida. There's talent there. So if you're Florida, you want to start fast. Don't give those guys any sort of hope, because they've had a lot of success in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium since 2009.
I don't think people realize how many of those same guys, I mean, both of them are loaded with Florida kids. This is a big rivalry. This is a chance for Florida to